How about that? Yeah, just having a cigar. Man. Do a little quick check-in. Say hello.
New music discovery on BPM this year.
Give a minute for people to come into the room.
But this is the BPM.
Just a little reminder.
Of 2018.
It is the most dangerous night of the year. I'll probably say that a couple of times before I'm done, but yeah, it is. So, having a tail end of a cigar here that's, man, I don't know, this Perdomo lasts forever. I'm fixing to light up a Macanudo though. Start of a new cigar, start of a new year. Oh man, tune up, tune in, it's gonna be a new year, it's gonna be good. It's gotta be better than last year. Last year was rough. How do I have a like and nobody's in the room? Google, quit screwing my numbers. Y'all know damn well people come up in here. There you go, there's somebody. Man. Turn that down just a bit. Probably take some of the bass out of it. See, that's all the way. Man, I'm telling you, these 12s don't play. Yeah, so it is the most dangerous night of the year. People come on in the room. It's better if you in here than if you out there, but either way, if you're like me, I am the ever-present driver, worker, because I'm driving all the time. I'm gonna be in it. Let's see, I learned quickly today that I like your content in advance. That's possibly the nicest comment I've ever gotten. I got one other comment, and you know what too? I'm hoping he shows up, my boy. But this one other person told me one time, he says, you know what? He says, get this, he says, thank you for being you. You're right up there with that comment though. I learned that I like your content in advance. Yeah, well, I'm just a truck driver and somebody done messed around and gave me a damn camera. That's where I'm at. So, I teach mechanical stuff to drivers because I've been doing this about 24, 25 years. I'm trying to catch these other guys up to speed. This is an easy way for me to do it without meeting them on the fuel aisle and trying to explain 24 years of knowledge in 5 seconds while we're getting fuel. I hand them a card and I'm like, hey, check that video out. Hey, get the VIN numbers off your truck before somebody steals your truck, because that's how they do it. It'll be in Mexico in 3 days. You know, I straighten them up real quick. Let's see here. A freight train couldn't have held the content of that video. Wow, which video? Tell me what I did. I did something, people. Shit, I'm in trouble or something. Whatever I did, if I wake up with concertina wire around my truck, it's because I pissed off the government. If there's a bunch of Russians smoking cigarettes around my truck waiting for me to wake up, it's because I pissed off Russians. Tell me what I did. You never know. You never. I could be saying anything to make somebody. But yeah, no, it sounds good anyways. So I got more stuff coming. I got issues with stuff that's been breaking on this truck that I've had, different trucks, actually quite a few trucks, you know, that I put out that should be an alert to drivers that, hey, this is gonna break on you, and you know, especially in mud flap hangers. I'm gonna do a video just on mud flap hangers. Call me crazy. We got parts falling off of trucks, people. Parts falling off of trucks, you driving down the road, it creates a road hazard. You can't go back and get it. You're like, where the hell's my mud flap hanger? That's going on. But yeah, tonight though, people are drinking and driving. Okay, listen to me. There's this stuff, let's see, you talked about dog systems, P versus DPF models and mud flap. Yeah, you know what, especially that the DPF filters. Yeah, DPF, yeah. The DPF filters, you gotta change them, and it's a ticking shot bomb. And so that is stuff, and they don't teach this in trucking school. So I'm on it, man, and I'm doing the best I can. And somebody thanked me on there for that too. But I really appreciate your comment. You know, that makes me feel like I'm doing something helpful, because that's all I'm trying to do. But this is my legacy. I'm gonna be dead one day. I'll be on the, some dude will be on the side of the road broke down, right? And he'll fix his truck watching my videos. He'll be like, dude, you were awesome. That's what I'm doing. Nobody's gonna build a bridge with my name on it. Nobody's gonna build a monument. You know, I'm not MacArthur. I'm not gonna have a big circle up there in Arlington or what, which they're doing some weird stuff up there. They can't even find out where. Don't get me started on Arlington. Anyway, so what I'm looking at is, I'm trying to teach. And this is a good medium for me to be able to do that. And this is my legacy, so that's what I do. But like, back to what I was saying, tonight, if you are going out to party and have a good time, that's great. No trucker is gonna fault you for that, okay? Because we've had some rough years in the economy. We've had, you know, say, hey, just go party it up, people, but keep a 20 spot in your pocket. Put it in that third Levi's pocket, put it in your shoe, put it under your hat, you know, stick it in a shirt pocket. Do what you gotta do, hide it from yourself. And you can get, cabs used to be expensive, okay? If you're in a city where you have city transit, know when the last bus is gonna bring you home. Get the card and then transfer to a bus, but keep a 20 spot in your pocket, because there's these new things that I know y'all know about, but I'm just an old dude and I'm learning. But Lyft, L-Y-F-T, that's what all these drivers don't know what in the hell is in the windshield of these cars, and then you find out. It's just like the iPod. You seen them going down the road with something, looking at something like it's a TV remote, the first big white iPod. You're like, what are these people holding? There's not even a screen on that thing. Yeah, we learn before other people do what the new thing is by looking down at cars going, what are they messing with now? That's what's up. So Lyft, in the window, in the glass of the front windshield of these cars, it looks like a little Mickey Mouse little laser light situation going on up there, like they're trying to look cool. No, that's a cab. Okay, it says in the little LED lights L-Y-F-T, but it looks so funky. We're thinking it looks like, I thought it looked like a Mickey Mouse symbol. I thought it's like, hey, that's the new thing, throw some lights up in your dash. No, it's let's see, I've been a company driver for 35 years. In that long stretch of years, I learned a little about what's under the hood. Lay my ears to Ollie Mitten. Let's do that again. Okay, wait a second. I've been a company driver for 35 years. In that long stretch of years, I learned little about what's under the hood. Late in my years, I'm oddly bitten by the bug to learn more. Hey, and I'm trying to put more up. You know what I'm saying? You can change your parts, beat the wrecker, keep the money in your pocket for when that DPF mess costs you $2,900. You know, and then you still have about 5, 10, 8 grand, 20 grand in your bank account. Don't just beat the wrecker. Change your own parts what you can. Keep tools on board, because that's an investment. Tools might cost you $100 to $300, right? But the wrecker bill will cost you thousands. Get some tools. I'm gonna go through a whole list. Not tonight, but I'm gonna go through a whole list of stuff you should have as tools. Then I'm gonna do another video showing tools and showing extra parts. I got a new way to cage a brake chamber by pumping it up with a brass fitting that has an air valve in it, just like a tire. So you can pump up a brake chamber and change a brake chamber like that, you know, pumping it up to cage it. Crazy, right? There's all kinds of tricks. I got to go through that, but like I said, back to what I was saying though, Lyft, L-Y-F-T, is an app on your phone. Get it now before y'all, you know, if y'all go out and get drunk and whatever. Get that Lyft app and get the Uber app, because Uber sometimes make you wait. Lyft seems to be more on it. Uber people, it seems like they're only up at night for the drunks, or in the daytime you might have to wait 2 hours. Lyft seems to be on it even in the daytime. And you're talking like $5, $7. Tip him another $5 for getting you home safe. Keep the 20 in your pocket in case you see a drunk that needs a lift home. You know, and it's, let's see here. What is the value of a 2011 Walmart Cascadia? Has 908,000 miles. Well, here's the problem. When you got big companies like that, Walmart, okay, Walmart stopped maintaining their shit. You want me to lie to you? You want me to tell you the truth? Ask a Walmart mechanic that works in their shop, and they know that their trailers are sitting out there not being maintained, and they're not bringing them in for regular intervals because they were cutting the money from the mechanics. Now they're trying to make it a little bit better, but it's the conglomerate that is a group of people that's running that company right now that's acting like it's, you know, the wife of the, you know, that's all BS. I know the real deal. I met a guy who knows her. says she's hanging around with Hunt, but they ain't got nothing going on because she ain't in. There's a whole thing with the marrying and remarrying and stuff. They kick Swift out. It's all, don't get me started. I know way too much about that company, but I'm gonna tell you about their trucks. Their trailers are not being maintained, ergo I would be real suspect about their trucks from the last 2 to 3 years. And if you don't have maintenance records on a truck, you got nothing. If they can't show you all the receipts of all of the oil, not just changes, but oil analyses, and if you can't take it and drive it down the road, because you got to drive it, they will delete codes on you, right? They could delete codes on a truck and you drive it down the road, even if it's 2 miles. That code may not show up. The check engine light may not show up again, and then that code don't come up till like you done drove 500 miles. And then, oh, there's a code. No, man, take that truck straight to Love's. They'll hook up the computer for free. Did you hear me when I said free? Because that should have rang a bell. Drive it to Love's. They'll hook up to the computer for free. They'll tell you about the codes that's in there, intermittent or otherwise buried, but that they're not showing up at check engine light right now because they're an active fault, but they don't create a shutdown event, so they don't show up. So go to Love's anytime you're buying a truck, I'm sorry, you're buying a truck, a new truck. Take it straight to Love's and say, I'm taking it to a mechanic to have it checked out. Take it there, then right after that, take it to a front end alignment place. Have them check the alignment. Make sure it's an alignment place that doesn't charge you for 3-axle thrust angle alignment. Make sure that it's a place that checks, that will only charge you to check the front. Let's see. Working with a company that bought this truck, and the rack and pinion is so stiff that when I turn off a ramp, it wants to keep straight. Okay, that might not be the rack and pinion, bro. That might be the steering box. It probably is the steering box. And there's a filter, believe it or not, if I'm not mistaken. I've been told that there's a filter in the power steering unit. But here's the thing. Those power steering boxes, there's a bolt on them, and some people try to screw with that and mess with that. Don't mess with that. But if it's been messed with, it won't self-correct also. Like you're turning to the left and then it wants to keep turning left. Or if it's tight like that. Okay, if it's binding, it'll take 5 minutes. It has been changed out. Okay, yeah. It'll take 5 minutes for them to, well, it could have burned up again too, because it's trying to work something that's binding. Hang on a second. It used to be the case that buying a fleet maintained truck was golden. Exactly. Judge a company by their trailers. Yup, yup, yup. See, that's my boy right there telling the truth. Let's see. That's a beginning point. Lab test the differential oil. Yeah, Speedco can test it. But what I was saying is, if you take it to a place that, what state are you? I don't know every state. Just know this. You're looking for big truck alignment. You're looking for a place that does alignment that will only charge you for the front axle. They hook up lasers to the back axles, but they're only going to charge you, even if they do it, to the Illinois. Okay, give me a minute to think on that. Like I said, you may just have to Google it or look it up in the phone book or something like that, or on Trucker Path. Look on Trucker Path for shops. Put in there at the bottom that you're looking for shops. Put that you're looking for shops. You're looking for, don't stay away from Freightliner. They want to charge 3-axle thrust angle. You don't want to be charged for 3-axle. It works like this. They hook up lasers to the front. They hook up lasers to both of the back. But one of the back is good and it's shimmed. It ain't gonna move anyway. They shouldn't charge you but for 2. The other one, there's probably nothing wrong with. So they should only charge you for what? 1. The one up front is all they're gonna mess with. Camber and caster, toe in and toe out. Write those down. Camber, caster, toe in and toe out. For a car, all 4 of those matter. For a truck, only a couple of them do. And it's probably something, honestly, like you could have a problem where the tie rod ends are so worn that they're worn and stuck, almost like they're welded in a spot. Usually the tie rod ends, they're designed to fail. Usually tie rod ends are junk and they're loose, but they can wear to and be stuck. You're supposed to grease these trucks. Here's the issue too. They want to say you can do an oil change every, they're pushing out the miles on them, saying like 35,000 miles on an oil change. Well, every time you used to go into the oil change, 12, 18,000 miles, whatever, you used to get the truck greased. It's exactly like a backhoe. I used to work with construction equipment like a track hoe and a backhoe, a big track hoe and a little backhoe. I used to have to grease them. Those fittings have to be greased, okay? Or like the old timers said, greased. It's kind of funny. The point is, if you haven't, I want to say greased, if you haven't greased the backhoe or the truck, it's not like a car. You're on a lot of weight. You got 12,000 pounds on that front axle, on one axle. A car don't weigh but 3,000 pounds. You can grease them once every once in a while, whatever. On a truck, you've got to treat it like a backhoe. It's a tractor. The title says tractor. No lie. It's a tractor. A tractor, farm tractor. You have to grease it. You got to grease it often, or you'll wear them out. Don't get me wrong, this is an excellent truck. DD15, it's just steering is stiff. Well, I'll tell you about the DD15 too. They got issues the DD13s don't have, okay? I recommend a DD13. But let's just say you're gonna go with the DD15. Okay, fine. Find out all the recalls, okay? Not just the steering, but I'll tell you, go to any place that does front end alignment on a truck and call them. Just call them up and say, hey, do you do 3-axle thrust angle alignment? They'll say yes. Say, now, do you charge for all 3 axles, or are you just going to charge me to check it? How much is it to check it? Or is it a free alignment check? There's a place in Georgia, Wilco, that used to do, on I-75, used to do a free alignment check. They have it on the CB radio. So I would think it'd be less than $100 just to check the alignment. When they check the alignment, what they're doing is they're also checking for broken parts under there. It's going to be included in that. They're not going to change them for you, but they'll let you know and give you a heads up, okay? They'll tell you exactly what's binding. They have the ability to. They put your truck up on these. I've got a video on front end alignment, and it shows exactly what they do, and it's sitting on casters. Your front steers sit on casters, the back are just on the ground. You pull up onto it and stop. The computer tells what the lasers are doing that they hooked up to your rims. The back one shoots through the middle axle on the rear front axle and into the front. So it's communicating your front steer to your rear drive. And it'll say when it's straight, and then it will tell you how far it's out or what's wrong with it, and they can adjust it right there. But while they're under there, they will check your tie rod ends. They're going to check your kingpin, pitman arm, freaking your steering box. They're going to see if it's stiff. Whatever's binding or stopping, I can't deal with that right now. Whatever's binding or stopping, they will let you know exactly what it is. It's not hard to find because there's a little bit of play in each component that when one moves and the other one don't, that's the one that's wrong. You got me? So tie rod ends are about, hell, they're cheap. They're only probably about 30 bucks a piece, and then an hour and a half labor to do them. So that's where you're at. I'd bet 10 bucks because that's what I got in my pocket. Now I would bet money that it's probably the tie rod ends, and it's one of them's probably hanging up because it's worn in a spot that made it happy and it's just stuck there. Let's see. Yeah, on those codes, cab 249, ECU 128 sounds like a cab controller, and ECU could be like the ECM. You could have an issue, 9 times out of 10, it's because of water. You probably, the top cap, I would send you to the people that I just found out about that I could trust on I-75. Valdosta, Georgia's one. Then the other one, I'll have to look. There's a few of them, and they are 4-star Freightliner, and that guy knows it's a warranty issue that the top cap leaks and water comes forward and it'll be dripping down on your CB radio. You'll think your windshield's leaking. It's not. It's the top cap. All these Freightliners. At first they thought it was the Freightliners that were the Cascadias. I'm sorry, not the Cap. I'm sorry. First they thought it was just the Coronados. Then they found out it was the Cascadias also. Mine leaked. Ask me how I know. $1,700 worth of windshields later, and it wasn't the one made in Mexico, but if it's the one made in Mexico, your top 3 marker lights, top 5 marker lights, but the 3 middle ones, are probably leaking because they all leaked out of Mexico, and they made that a recall, but they charge you $300 for a water test, which is stupid. It's a water hose and see what happens. It's really retarded. But that place won't charge you like that. That place under warranty can do the seal on the cap with this. They have to put body. Yeah, I know it leaks. They all leak, bro. It's a Freightliner. It's a gutter system. It hits everything but you. Keep your paperwork on your floorboard. So yeah, so I'm saying they will reseal the top cap seal where it splits the top just above your head to the bottom of the frame, that fiberglass meeting metal, and it's a body sealer that is flexible. I guess it's like a silicone, and they just put it there and it fixes the problem. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the name, but no worries. But yeah, I just yeah, I'm just talking because I see the question. I'm answering the question. No worries. We're all drivers. There you go. I treat everybody like a driver. So you're a driver. You know what I mean? So anyway, but yeah, what I was talking about though, on the front end though, they'll find everything that's wrong with it, just make sure they don't charge you if they want to do an alignment for a 3 axle. Make sure they only charge at that shop for a front axle. That's how you can tell if it's a really honest shop or not. Okay, I put a video up of I-20 down in Tallapoosa, Georgia, exit 5. It used to be Nobles, now it's Newborn, because Clarence Newborn bought the place, and he had the sign shop before. He only charges for front axle. I think that the place on 16 that I showed about tire regrooving only charges for front axle. You just don't want to get ripped off. You shouldn't have to pay for a 3-axle thrust angle alignment when they're only going to adjust the front, even though they do check all 3 no matter where you go. And they will find that problem, I promise you, because there's just enough play in the steering. It's not really play, but there's movement of one piece and not movement in the next. That's where the problem's at. So, but as far as the leaking, they all leak. They know it's under a warranty thing that was a recall for the top cap. St. Louis by the Arch. Yup, I'm not far from there. I'm east of there. I gotta go grab a load, repower a dude because he's broke down. That's how this is going. I'm repowering. I was just saying the other day, I'm repowering more than I'm even picking up loads because the Kenworths leak from the fittings that go into the water, into the heater core hoses. They put plastic fittings that mount and screw into the head, and also that screw into a different place on the block. It's plastic. I would go straight to a machine shop with a new part and say, make this out of brass or copper. Either way, I'll be back to pick it up. I need 4 or 8 of them. 6 of them, I think is what it is. And make sure they're all the exact same, and then replace them with that, and they'll never fail. They're engineering failure into our trucks. So that's what I'm trying to do, is teach about what's going on and what's going to break on your truck, bring it up, have some lives every once in a while like this, but the reason for this live was to remind people, and I needed to be reminded a couple days ago, this is the most dangerous night of the year. Drunks are out in force. Cops are out in force. So there's 2 things. Watch your speed, because it's either drunk or a cop. Watch your speed, because you don't want to get a ticket, and watch for the drunks and don't ride around them because they're going to hit you. Bars close, I think some of them close at midnight, some of them close at 2 or 3 in the morning. You're going to want to be careful. So just be aware of that. And if you are going out partying, for God's sake, don't drink and drive. Please don't drink and drive. There's going to be more death tonight than any other night of the year. Nobody wants it. Try to alleviate it. Call a Uber. That company I was talking about, Lyft, with the funky lights and everything that we figured out what that was. Lyft. Get the app on your phone now. Get the Uber app on your phone now. I've heard Lyft is better. I don't know the difference between. I'm just going to say, hey, I'm going to go with that. A friend of mine told me. I trust him. So I'm like, hey, Lyft is better. You ain't got to wait. You have a 20 spot in your pocket. If you see somebody too drunk to drive, tell the bartender to call them something and work it out. Don't let them leave. Anything that keeps people from dying, because everybody out there's life is worth $20. So even if you had to spend your money of your pocket and you got a ride, you just saved somebody's life, their life is worth more than $20. I can assure you. And then all the lives around them that they spin out and start dancing with other cars. It's not pretty. I see it all the time. I'm tired of seeing white sheets in the median. It's enough. You know what I'm saying? Which the drivers I'm talking to, y'all already know that. You know, I'm just preaching to the choir. But someone will watch this because I'm going to put this shit on Twitter. I'm gonna put it up on Twitter. Let's see. This company can help you become a lease driver. Just want to know if it's worth. Yes, it's worth being a lease driver if it's a walk-away lease. And if you are making a living, and if you're in a new truck, I would get a brand new truck, because even one that's a year old or 2 years old, because that could have issues, and then you might as well just buy one that's 15 years old. Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing wrong with a lease purchase if they're giving you, yeah, with that truck, if they're giving you freight and give you money, and if they're paying, you know. And if you've got if they have a deal where you're saving on fuel, where you go on an app and you save on fuel, because some of them don't pay nothing. Had option leave out tonight. I said no dice. I've got 2 other drivers over the road who run off the embankments. Yeah, you know, I am gonna be running tonight though. Lou, I'm with you. I'm with you on that in sentiment. But I gotta make $1, and I'm sitting here with 41 hours and 24 minutes left on my clock, and you can't stop the money train. But people know how I roll too, and I'm not going to do nothing special, and you know, but I got to ride all the time. So it's like, you know, you got to just keep cam up, keep your dash cam on. Like I said, watch for drunks and watch your speed, because there's 2 people out tonight, the drunks and the cops going to get them. And thank God for the cops and the ambulances. Plan on calling 911. Have it ready, because you might need it. If you're a driver, like I said, do what you got to do to avoid downtown areas, because there's going to be places that there's going to be parking where people are going to leave their cars all on the street. It's going to be like a neighborhood where people live, and they just park on the street, and there'll be cars everywhere. You won't be able to get to places you're going. Stay on main highways, stay out of major cities, take the loop no matter what. And be cautious, because you can have a car on your left that's drunk, a car on your right that's drunk, and you got a truck sandwich all of a sudden. Yes, the freight lanes are the best. Don't go East Coast and keep in the money lanes. Yeah. So like I said, it's only like $5 or $7 to call a Lyft or to call an Uber. It's worth it. It's worth your life. It's worth, you know. Here's the thing too, if you can't trust the person that drove you there, you definitely got to keep cash. They might get too drunk to drive. They might leave with somebody else, leave you hanging, stranded. Got to keep that 20 spot in your back pocket, in your hip pocket, for yourself. And then also have that app on your phone already. And you know, you can ask a bartender. All the bartenders should be able to call you a cab. I don't know any of them that wouldn't. And some of them give free rides on New Year's Eve. I forgot about that. Some cab companies say that if you're drunk and you need a ride home, they give you a free ride on New Year's Eve. You can look that up. But know ahead of time, because 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Just like they teach in the military, if you got 2 of something, one of them's going to break. So really and truly, you only got 1 of that something, whatever it is. So 2 is 1, 1 is none. So 2 apps on your phone, 2 ways home, it's really 1, because one of them's gonna fail you. The dude or the chick that you're riding with is gonna fail you. The situation where you can't get a ride because Uber's booked up but Lyft ain't, keep them both. Keep in mind that, you know, the bartender can help you. Yeah. I think it's supposed to be good, but yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, great. Yeah, I appreciate that. So most of my stuff's mechanical, but I wanted to ahead of time remind drivers that this is the most dangerous night of the year. Remind them the drunks are out in full force. It's almost like they hit a time card at either midnight, and then there's a whole nother shift of them that's going to let out about 2 o'clock, 2:30 to 3 in the morning. Some of them's going to wait till 4 and try to outwait the cops and think that they can beat them by drinking and driving even all the way up till 7 in the morning. It's going to be dangerous. Weather's changing. I don't know of any freeze patterns or where, but it was raining like crazy earlier. I gotta plug this power up. But yeah, I'm just doing what I do and trying to make a living and letting other people know how to fix their stuff. Like I said, they done mess around and give a truck driver a camera and let him talk. It's kind of like water cooler. it's we don't have water coolers that we meet up at and talk at like some people's jobs do. We meet on the fuel aisle, but now we're so busy. This is kind of like that Marco Polo or something like that. You could talk and then it's there for other people, and my people usually don't catch in on my lives. They'll catch it later, and YouTube actually changes the numbers of people that's in the room, and they lie about that. They lie about my views. It's all good. Believe it or not, people, I got close to 2 million people that's been here, and it's only showing, I think it's showing like 1,080,000 something. So maybe I got like 1.5 million, but the numbers are always behind. They'll send me a message saying, we messed up last month. We miscounted how many people were viewed. We owe you 200,000 views or 100,000. Well, I quit caring, you know. But I put stuff up on Twitter. I put stuff, some of that's a little more political, whatever. And I put stuff, my videos up and other stuff and share stuff. People share my videos. I'm just trying to teach. This is the most important thing though, is this kind of stuff, is giving people reminders, like a safety video in a way. A lot of owner operators could use this. Most dangerous night of the year. You know, so I'm gonna put it up on my Twitter. I'll be getting out of here in just a little bit. I'm gonna spend another 10 minutes here doing this live, but I'm having a cigar. I'm chilling, about to start my day. I'm having good coffee. I hope you're having good coffee. I hope you're doing good. If you're not doing good, like I tell everybody, there's a whole bunch of cards in the back of the truck stop that you can grab and you can be doing better, because there's jobs out there. I don't believe that it's as much as they want to say that that you know, they are in a shortage of truck drivers. I believe that's a manufactured mess. I think they need to pay us more, but the thing is, sometimes you got to move laterally to move up. Okay, I'm one to tell you. So I've had companies jack me around. One I'm at, I've at least 2 that has given me trouble. I'm not above it if somebody offers me more money. So you know, it is what it is. You have to move around. But the mechanical side of things, you don't want to be on the side of the road on a mountain freezing in the snow because your truck won't idle, and you could have had a $5 part that you carried with you all the time, $7, like a turbo boot, turbo clamp, that I could tell you about, and you'd be like, man, really? I could have done that? That's why I'm putting this out there. There's a lot of knowledge. It should be like day one. This is off subject. Oh, that's fine. Be off subject. No worries. But in future videos, could you occasionally throw in any advice you might have about dump trucks in general? I'll give you some advice. They don't stop as well as 18 wheels do. They're up there on weight. They have a high center of gravity. And make sure, for God's sake, you drop your bucket when you're done. Because, man, this dude, I put a video up called Y'all Gotta Do Better Than This. He still goes into that truck stop. He drove all the way from bottom end of Louisiana, down there in the bayou, all the way up to almost the top end, went into this gas station. The whole way his bucket was up, riding down the highway like that, the whole way. And he tore up their canopy, tore the hell out of the fuel aisle canopy. They were out of fuel for God knows how long, had no way to pump diesel fuel because he killed the power to it and all that stuff. It was crazy. Yeah, that's true though. It's true. I called it the video, I called it Y'all Gotta Do Better Than This. I got a whole playlist of Y'all Gotta Do Better Than This in there somewhere. And it's in it, and I showed the video, and I went in and talked to him in place, and she says, yeah, she says, and he still comes in here. I'm like, y'all still let him in here? Man, I would ban that dude. I'm not lying. But yeah, people are crazy. But as far as dump trucks get dirty a lot, so there's a lot more grit. You gotta grease them more often. The wooden pieces that are on the back, you gotta make sure they're secure. It don't take much. They have on the back, do not push, because when they're loaded with a front end loader or a bucket that's dumping dirt in them, they used to push them and nudge them to let them know they were done, but it's kind of messed up because it does damage to the back of the truck, and it also does damage to the brakes, because you can break a set of brakes, okay? If they're engaged and they're touching the drums, it breaks the bonding and the rivets. It breaks the brake shoe away from the backing plate. You can break a set of brakes. So I tell these idiots all the time that run into the fuel aisle and they pull their valve to stop. That's not a good way to stop a truck. That's breaking your brakes. It'll put stress cracks in the brakes, and the DOT will find them, and they'll shut your ass down right there at the scale, and you're the idiot that did it. Or if you buy that used truck from Walmart, like you're talking about, then you might have that problem. Check for stress cracks on the side of the brakes, and that kind of stuff. Make sure they're not glazed. Glazed brakes are no good. is worse, you know, is worse than not having brakes at all. You don't find out till you come down a mountain. So that's why when they were selling trucks at Select Trucks, in Freightliner Select Trucks, they were saying if you buy a truck from us, we'll give you a whole new set of brakes and you pay for the labor. And it was like, still it ripped you off and it got you in the shop, but a lot of them needed it because they glazed the brakes and then they sold them, those big fleets sold them in bulk to Freightliner, and they wanted to not have it come back on them. So really you needed brakes from day one, not when the brakes are wore out. That's why they did that. And then they could turn around and say, well, we gave them free brakes. We gave that person, you know, could have come back in here. Well, then it's on you, right? It's plausible deniability. It's limiting their liability. It's a ripoff. It's a racket. So you can't afford to have them do the brakes anyhow. And then you're like, man, I might as well just take my money and go to another shop and have them put brakes on there, because really, that place is a ripoff. I can get cheaper whole brakes and they'll include the brakes somewhere else because their labor rate's too high. So that's what people were doing, and they never used the coupon for brakes. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna light this. I'm starting a new year with a new cigar. I'm done with this Perdomo. Me and this Perdomo are over. And then let's see here. Get everything wired up and going. Like I said, I'll be leaving in a bit. I'm fixing to light up this Macanudo, man. It's been crazy. So, but it's gonna be dangerous tonight. I'll be in it. You know, it's one of the things, hey, you'll either read about me in the news or I'll make it through, either way. What are you gonna do, right? No, you gotta look for drivers that are inattentive, drunk, whatever, and those little Mickey Mouse looking light up things I was talking about for Lyft drivers, that's a good sign. When you see that, you're like, oh, that he's straight, because he's driving a drunk, you know, if they're not inattentive and listen to the back or doing what they're doing. So yeah, it's a good idea to have a designated driver, but at the same time keep a 20 spot in your back pocket. Other than that, I will be doing a video. Like I said, I gotta do a lot more. It's hard for a driver that runs all the time to find time, but I've put a lot of stuff up already, you can see, and I appreciate the comment on my channel and that it's helpful and stuff, you know. So let's see, I'm gonna scroll back through the comments for a sec, get to that top one. Yeah, that you like my comment, the one where you said you learned quickly today that I like my content in advance. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so I just I'm gonna be putting stuff up as I can, and I'm gonna do a video showing the actual parts that you should keep in your truck, and that changes when you're talking about if you're going open road from like Kansas to Denver, Colorado, because then you need like an extra brake chamber, you need crazy stuff then, because you don't know what's gonna happen and there's no shops. They might be a mobile mechanic in the middle that ain't gonna have parts. You gotta be a rolling Freightliner dealership, or Peterbilt if that's your thing, or whatever you got. But yeah, let me light this cigar up. Anybody wants to say something, y'all go ahead. I feel like I'm monopolizing the conversation here, and I don't mean to, even though it is my channel. But yeah, that's just what I do. This is what I do. I'm just a driver that has been doing it for a long time, and I've trained a lot of drivers, and I can't possibly put everything in their brain that's in mine, and half of them didn't listen anyways when I was talking about the mechanical stuff. They think, like the Schneider commercial, you walk in front of your truck and do a dance, made 50-something thousand first year, whatever. They didn't tell him he was parked on a bridge. They didn't tell him that was illegal. Anyways, they took that commercial down. So, you know, it's one of the things where I can't possibly catch them all up to speed where I'm at, but I can put videos up. Just watch the ones that are in that playlist. One playlist says Fix It Vids, the other playlist says Trucking Tips. Those two playlists, bury yourself in those. When you're done with those, then the rest of my stuff's just fluff. Let's see. Brake caging concept you developing? Well, I didn't develop it. Another mechanic had been doing it a while, and I made one. He made me one, then I made one, and it is let's see here. Yeah, it's two pieces of brass that one is threaded for the air line that goes into the brake chamber that supplies air to release it. The other one is in the middle. You've got a valve stem, a regular valve stem, big rubber ball, and then what smashes it between and the valve stem goes through is the next piece of brass that screws to it and makes it one piece. So sandwiched in between two pieces of brass is a valve stem, and then it sticks out from there, and you screw it in to the brake chamber. You pump it up like you're pumping up a tire, only you are caging the brake because you're releasing the brake with air in it, and it works. But if you can't cage one, you can back it off all the way and then move it. You can back the adjustment off all the way. It's some people just take a brake chamber and unscrew it, which is crazy. You know, they just unbolt the brake chamber and it moves back on them, which is, you know, crazy. It's best to have it caged, but they'll unscrew it. They'll counterclockwise unscrew the whole threaded rod. Now the new ones, the clevis is made into it, so you'd be removing it a little bit different anyways. The 3030 brake chamber is the older style. Those you can buy split cans, piggyback half brake chambers, and it's cheaper, or you can buy the whole thing for 40-50 bucks. The new 3036 long stroke, like is on my truck, my last one was $160 something plus having it installed, and I was tired, so I paid the dude to install it, but I videoed it. So I hadn't put it up yet. But the point is, I got to edit all that out. I got a lot of video, I just ain't had time to edit it, but that's why I do these lives sometimes. But the 3036 long stroke has a built-in clevis, so you don't have to cut the threaded rod, you don't have to do nothing. But they don't sell them in halves, and they're 160 something bucks. So you're paying more for the brake chamber, but you have to do nothing except for take the big, you know, 5/8, then inch and a 1/16 for caging it, and then whatever. And they don't have a deep well socket for that yet either. It's a whole big mess. Like I said, I've done some teaching stuff on that, but I'm gonna take two sockets that are impact sockets. They started making one now. Matco has one, but Snap-on does not. It's called a extra deep socket, and it's made for caging brake chambers. It's extra deep impact socket, and you can use an electric impact gun. That's good, or you can just use a ratchet, but you don't want to have to use a wrench just caging a brake chamber. So if you're caging a brake chamber, that's what you want, is that extra long socket. Otherwise, a socket will only go so far, then you're cranking it down with a wrench. And the new ones are not 5/8 of an inch like the 3030s are, they're inch and a 1/16. That's just off the top of my head. That's crazy. I mean, I've changed and knew that, but the last one I paid somebody to change so I could video it. That was easier than me trying to video myself doing it. Plus he brought me the part. But yeah, the new ones have a different size. So the Matco guy, he has the socket that's the extra deep well. That's the old ones were 5/8, the new ones inch and 1/16. He has the inch and 1/16. Snap-on doesn't have it yet, but the old style of doing it is you take two impact sockets, cut the head off of one of the impact sockets so it's like a pipe. That'd be the inch and 1/16 you need. Weld that to any size that's close to it impact socket, and then you've got an extra deep socket that the threaded rod will go through, and you can cage your brake chamber. So you can make your own. Go to a welding shop. You don't have to be able to weld. Go to anybody that's got what's called a machine shop. Say, can you MIG weld? If he says yeah, or I'm sloppy with it but it'll work, or I can TIG weld, or anything like that. You don't want a stick weld job, because stick weld jobs are not as good. Okay, they're just not. You could have it done, but it'll look like a monkey mess. You know, the mess on it be falling off. It could break. It's a weak weld. You want somebody that's got argon and the flux core to just trust me. MIG weld. You know, the old joke is it looked like a monkey took a shit on it. That's just what it looks like whenever you stick weld. MIG weld is a high temperature core, argon gas added to it, and you're full-on bonding two pieces of metal. So I don't know how to describe it any better than that. So if they can MIG weld, and MIG weld's like writing with a crayon, it's so easy. Anybody can MIG weld. Just got to get the heat setting right and the wire feed speed right. So I could do it, but I go to somebody that does it every day. Why would I do it when I can pay him? He does it every day and I'm out just like that. So sometimes it's worth paying a guy for a brake chamber when you can video it. Sometimes it's worth paying a welder when you can get a good tool out of it, if it's cheaper than finding a Matco tool guy. But the Matco tool guy has the 1 1/16 for these newer trucks, for the 30-36 long stroke for caging the brake chamber. That socket has to be an 1 1/16, okay, for the caging bolt. If you don't know what your caging bolt is, get out of your truck, take an adjustable wrench. The side of the brake chamber has on it the caging bolt that's correct for that. It comes with it. Comes with it, each one of them. You got 2 on the front, but the ones on the back have the caging bolts on them. Undo the nut all the way, take it off. Take the threaded rod bolt with the little T-handle top out of the brake chamber. It does nothing for your brake chamber. It's just a caging tool. Walk that into a machine shop and say, I need you to take 2 impacts, cut the head off of it, and make it so it fits this nut, and then you'll have a caging tool. So, just an old timer's trick. That's what we used to do before you could buy even the 5/8 socket from Matco. So, like I said, now it's 1 1/16 for the new trucks. If you have a 30-36 long stroke, 30-34, don't get me even talking specs. So, anyway, if you want to ask anything else, I'll be on here for a second. I'll be going, but I just teach what I know, and I know a lot about working on trucks. I can't tell you football stats, baseball stats. You're not going to hear anything of that from me. I don't have a clue. But what I will tell you is how to keep your ride going if you in a large car. So, watch out for the cars tonight, though. And yeah, about to get rolling. So, hope everybody's going to have a safe and happy new year. Hope you're going to make more money next year than you did this year. I don't think it's even hard to do if you're like me, because for real, it could have been better. It's going to be better. And working hard to make for a better tomorrow. Anything you want to say, go ahead, and then I'm gonna step out. Just turn up a little bit of radio. I'll put this video up on Twitter because I want them to be safe too. It is the most dangerous night of the year. Just think about it. If it's on your mind, you'll be safe. And this has been a public service message. I'd like to thank my sponsors. There were no sponsors. I'm just a guy with a camera. Yep, no worries. And like I said, if you want to learn what I've already put up, it's in the knowledge that I've put up is in my videos that are in 2 playlists on the top of my channel. One of them is Fix It Vids, and the other one is Trucking Tips. Other than that, if you want to know a good place to get something to eat, food stuff is on there. And then the rest of it I just call fluff, but it's good stuff. I like what I'm doing. I'm proud of what I'm doing. Like I said, it's my little legacy. And I'm nobody special, but what I'm doing is bigger than me, and it's needed because they're just not teaching this shit in trucking school. People riding down the road thinking if they check the oil they're all right, until they break down and find out what it's all about. Then they get a hardcore lesson, and they should be talking to the mechanic every day. That's a good Macanudo right there. My gosh. Yep. And find you a good cigar. I'm just saying, it helps. You don't have to be crazy to work here, but it helps. And coffee. I've been raving on these Kona machines. It's close to a real coffee shop because there's no paper filter. So the pilots, don't be scared of that machine over there in the corner. It's made in Switzerland. They know their stuff. Just like Turkish style coffee or the old percolators they used to use, there's no paper filter. It's good coffee. It's like espresso at a coffee shop. So the Kona machine at the Pilot, K-O-N-A, that's my new thing, because I've got an espresso coffee machine in this truck. I got my crock pot up there, and if I ain't got time to get it out and I don't want to mess with it, I'm just going in there and getting the Kona machine now. So kind of spoiled, having a cigar and coffee. Yep. Now, I'll tell you this too, I'm not your financial guru. I'm not going to tell you the best way to make money with a company. I'm just going to tell you how to save money by not paying for the wrecker bill and show you how to change parts yourself, because you can do it. Find out if they're ripping you off for changing the air filter in your truck when you're getting an oil change, or if it's free, you know, or what you're doing there. That's the cabin air filter too, because you breathe air in this truck. Keep that cabin air filter changed. I showed how to do that in a video. So, for that person that just found my channel, it's gonna be a good night. We're gonna make it good. I'm gonna get off this thing. I appreciate everybody stopping by. I appreciate everybody that's gonna watch this. Share my stuff. Learn what you can. Hey, if you know something I don't, drop a link to it. That's cool too. I might could learn something. You never know. I learn something every day. And yep, we're gonna get down the road. I got another one in the room. Look, we're leaving. You're a little late to the party here. It was just a little chat, but don't drink and drive. Don't drink and drive. And while you're at it, don't drink and drive. Get you an Uber, a Lyft, a bicycle. Talk to the homeless dude and borrow his cart. Do whatever you gotta do. Take everybody wants to join a gym, run home if you have to, but don't drink and drive. Okay? Me and that dude right there that's running tonight, right there, we would appreciate it greatly. Take a bus. There's a bus right there. Look, there's your bus. That's your ride. Y'all see that? Buses are running, you know. Well, I almost had him. There we go. Yeah, buses are running, you know what I'm saying? Buses, trains, take a plane, take whatever you gotta take. But don't take that trip that takes you straight to jail for drinking and driving, people. All right? I'm out. Peace.